is the weakness at the lower end of the income distribution a canary in the coal mine? Is that what's going to pull down overall growth? In our view, I think that we are seeing significant weakness at the low end, probably recessionary-like, but the middle and high income slowdown is really just a normalization in my view, and the fundamentals, so debt service obligations, access to credit, wealth, the labor market, all of those are slowing but still holding up. And if you look at the weaker data points coming in that are reflective of this upper end consumer, they're just being pickier shoppers. They're not showing real weakness. So they're not wanting to spend on their home and as much on retail, but they're still wanting to travel and spend on cruises. And to me, that's just a consumer that that behaves in a more normal environment, like what we saw pre-COVID, not a consumer that we had seen over the last couple of years that was in the boom period.
Can I suggest that the economist Paul Sweeney is led on this? Paul, you've been out front of everyone of saying, I'm sorry, the restaurants are packed.
The restaurants are packed. So, Sarah, just give us a sense here of how we should think about this U.S. consumer here. We've got, basically, it still feels like full employment. Wages are rising, yet, boy, we see and we hear a lot of concern out there still about the absolute level of prices out there. How do you think about the consumer these days?
The price level, I think, is what's really impacting consumer sentiment right now, where households still feel pretty down about inflation because the level of prices is still so much higher than pre-COVID. If you go to the grocery store, you're not thankful that egg inflation is only 3% when it was 10% last year. You're saying, oh my God, a dozen eggs is $6 right now. It used to be $3. And so the way that households think is in levels. And one of the things that we've been highlighting that has in particular been putting pressure on the lower end consumer is that the level of prices and the level of real wages are still nowhere near where they were pre-COVID. So if you think at real wage growth, for example, that's been positive for 2 years, and it's been very strong because nominal wages have been outpacing inflation. But the level of real wages, so households' real buying power is just reaching its pre-COVID level. So households really have not felt that buying power for quite a long time now. And so that's why we really don't think it's until 2025 sustained upward pressure in real wage levels.